much-loved music producer by the artists in the music industry, 𝗂𝗵𝗁𝗃. We're supposed to be there by 11 and it's already 11:23, I think. So yeah, he must be waiting for us. So DJ says he's very punctual, so we might as well get going before he changes his mind. So let's get going and ask him the 11 questions. And we are here. For those of you who say that we keep going to people with nice houses, this also looks like a very good studio.
𝗠𝗦𝗁𝗃, welcome please.
Thank you so
That way,
much.
that way.
I'm so sorry
Come,
we're a
camera.
little late.
So yeah, this is it. So this is our, call it the living space or the jam room, hangout space. So artist now practice now. She's coming. Yeah. So practice here now, baby, and then yeah, please have a seat. Where do you want to sit? Anywhere. So Analuti, 𝗪𝗪𝗏 and then when the artists come, when they have some kind of event and practice session, they do it out here. We plug everything onto the speakers and we practice out here. Yeah, so this is.
It's like a collab thing for the artist, huh?
Yes, 𝗪𝗪𝗏. I think that is a good name, collab. I think we should use that.
Co-working space with Bhutanese. Okay, so firstly, introduce yourself. But here's the thing.
Okay.
You have to sing your introduction or rap your introduction.
Boy, now that is difficult. Sing my introduction or rap my introduction, yeah?
Yeah.
I was prepared. Anyway, 𝗂𝗵𝗁𝗃, 𝗂𝗵𝗁𝗃. Is that fine?
Great! I would say it's really good that I didn't ask beforehand.
I hope so. So that was like a 𝗪𝗏𝗍𝗃 kind of a song.
𝗪𝗏𝗍𝗃 kind of a song.
𝗪𝗏𝗍𝗃 kind of a song, yeah.
Something different from what you proudly claim 𝗵𝗵𝗁𝗃 to be known for?
I think so. I'm not really sure. But what do you think that, what is the kind of song or rather music that 𝗵𝗵𝗁𝗃 does? Do you associate us being modern or do you associate us being a fusion or?
It's like Dzongkha songs, and also there is no limits to this limitations and restrictions on language, right?
Yes.
So I think that's something really nice, because then I think that gives like a very individualistic perspective on the artistic work. I personally feel, because a lot of the times, like when it comes to Bhutanese music, it either has to be either completely in English or it has to be completely in Dzongkha. And something that I personally find different about 𝗵𝗵𝗁𝗃 music is that there is no restriction on language, and you can just like blend everything together, and it just gives a whole new perspective to the artist's work.
Thank you. It's very true. In fact, I think whatever we intended to do with the studio and its music is exactly what you said right now. We wanted to be the artist's presentation of their, creative genius or original work. So nothing else. Artists, 𝗪𝗪𝗏 or whatever's there inside the artist and their audience, might be anybody who's listening to their song. It should be direct, There shouldn't be anyone saying that, okay, it should be that way or it shouldn't be this way. Whatever there is inside them, the music inside them, should directly go to their listeners. So that is our intention. So that's why no restriction on language, no restriction on style, the kind of music, However they want to do it, they should do it, 𝗪𝗪𝗏. So I think that is where the studio comes in to maybe I'd like to use the word facilitate, So saying that, okay, okay, why are you changing it for somebody else liking, do that, So yeah, that's it.
I always say that it's always nice listening to people talk, because then you learn a lot about things that you are not really aware of before. It just broadens your horizon, and it's always a pleasure to listen to someone who is passionate about the same talk on it.
I'm glad to be the one sharing that information to you.
And hopefully trust everybody.
Yes, to everybody out there, to DJ out here. So yeah, since you have come to the studio, this is your first time, right? So do you want me to show you around and just give you a small tour?
Yes, I just leave my bag here.
So like I said, and this is our, call it the wall of fame, or you know, these are all the artists who've been associated with us since the beginning of the studio. And yeah, this was my wife's design, and you know, we wanted to be artistic. And coming here, so it's a small space, but we have divided the space. That is the jam room, and this is usually our TikTok space, this wall. So we light up the wall from here, and the TikTok, you know, dancers or choreographers, they stand here and they do their moves and everything. So this is where it happens with regard to our TikTok. And yeah, so in here we have the control room.
Oh.
So this is the control room, where you know, I work. I'd be here and working on either the music or recording the artists, recording, mixing, mastering, and everything is done out here. And usually the artists sit on this couch out here and listen to the work that is being done out here, and if they have any comments or suggestions. This is a very, in a sense, very technical room, you know, where all the technical things happen out here. And when it comes to the artists, this is our vocal booth. And yeah,
I think so this is where the creations happen, the magic happens.
Yeah, yes. This is a magical space.
Magical space. Okay, another question for you now, since we are in this magical space or the creation hub, you know, like what's the first song? Because I know like that you started as a singer first and then you ventured into music production, if I'm not mistaken, right? So what's the first song that you recorded yourself and that you got paid for?
It was way back, I think I was in class 10 or 11.
Yes.
I had done an album with a friend of mine. His name is 𝗂𝗂𝗄𝗧. And what happened is, you know, it was his idea, and one of his relatives wanted to produce a song, and that was during the time of cassettes. Not even CDs, cassettes, you know, cassettes. And he wanted to make an album, so yeah. And that time I was just beginning to learn how to produce music digitally. The album was named, I think, Music from the Youth's Heart or something like that. That was my first payment, I must say.
That you got for.
Yes.
Okay. And what about the studio? Like, which was the first work that the studio worked on, and the first breaklets per se? Because the studio being, since it's a recording studio and it's also like a passion, but also a business.
Yeah.
So like the first break that made you sustain, like in the market.
In the beginning, we did a lot of recordings for friends.
Nice.
You know, we didn't even charge because you know, it was all for fun. And I wouldn't say there was that one instant where everything happened, but it was you know, a build-up of everything. But I used to give credit, and I still do, to 𝗪𝗛𝗪. Because when we released that song, you know, it got the attention of everybody. Everybody started talking about it, and I should say that that was the arrival of M Studio, and also that marked the beginning of bebop. You know, because that song was very new. You know.
True that, I think, because not only the Bhutanese, I remember all my exchange student friends singing to that song. So that was how popular the song was actually.
Would you like to have a seat?
Yes,
yeah, let's rearrange stuffs and.
Okay, coming back to bebop, I think since we were talking about bebop before, I remember hearing you talk in interviews that something that you credit M Studio for, or that you take pride in M Studio for, is creating bebop music. You know, the genre that's synonymous with M Studio is bebop. So talk us a little bit more on bebop for those of us who love music yet have very limited knowledge on music.
Defining bebop has actually taken years. We coined the word first, and when we started off, we thought we have to do something for music, for Bhutanese music, for all the singers and musicians of Bhutan. We need to have something. So of course there was Shunda, Beda and Rixar, and we thought the kind of music we were doing was different and doesn't really fit into the category of the three. So we were like, something should be there, and K-pop was a thing, back then, and it was just starting off. K-pop was picking up, and we were like, why not have 𝗵𝗡, 𝗪𝗡? And I personally went online and checked whether 𝗵𝗡 was claimed by any country. So not really. There was maybe a few searches on Brazilian pop, so 𝗵𝗡, 𝗬𝗵, and then British pop, but that didn't really catch on. So we were like, here's our opportunity. So if we create enough content of 𝗵𝗡 with the hashtag 𝗵𝗡, or even with the title 𝗵𝗡, 𝗪𝗛𝗡, Bhutan could claim it. So that is how the name started, and then afterwards, now defining what 𝗵𝗡 is. So many of my friends, family, asked about what 𝗵𝗡 is. How is it different from other genres, And then I was like, it's still very difficult to explain, but 𝗵𝗡 means, first of all, popular music, whatever is trending. So if you go to YouTube or the Billboard charts, whatever genre is trending, that is pop music. Be it trap, rap, R&B, reggaeton, or all those genres. But we add our own Bhutanese element. And sometimes that lies in the way we put our 𝗪𝗪𝗧. Bhutanese have a very specific way of putting the 𝗪𝗪𝗧 in our songs. Sometimes it could be the language, and sometimes it could just be the fact that it is sung by a Bhutanese. So, so far that is what I think 𝗵𝗡 is, but it still continues to evolve and grow, and the community keeps growing, and it makes us happy. And I'd like to clarify that though M Studio created 𝗵𝗡, we don't like to claim it's an M Studio thing. It's for everybody. Everybody can be a part of 𝗵𝗡.
Talking about 𝗵𝗡 and artists and your wall of fame of the artists over there, we know many artists come to M Studio to record their music, and as we were talking before, you also guide them through writing music. It goes as a part, say, 𝗠𝗦𝘁𝗵. Like, do you sign them exclusively with M Studio? Like, a lot of recording studio do that. You
mean making a contract with them? And no, actually we do the exact opposite. We tell them not to sign a contract with anybody, because artists have to be free. And there have been artists who wanted to sign a contract with us, but we were like, no, you should work with anybody at any time, with anyone you want to work with. You shouldn't be bound to a studio. Bhutan is too small of a market or a place to be bound to one studio or a record label. You should be working. That's limiting your own scope, and you shouldn't be doing that, 𝗪𝗡. So we encourage artists to work with as many studios, as many artists, collaborate, work with this studio, that studio, work for this movie, that movie, for this project, and they should be free. I don't think they should be bound by anything. And the answer to that is no, we don't sign contracts. All of the artists, I know where the question is coming from, because people think that the artists who we work with on a regular basis, they always work with us. They always, wherever M Studio goes, they are there. And that is not through compulsion. That is their own will. They want to work with us. They want to do music with us. They want to be a part of M Studio, so they're there. And even if they want to leave, they can leave anytime they want. There's nothing, saying that no, you can't go. I associate freedom a lot with art. So this is putting the words into action.
Yes, and I think everything just blooms when it's in a very free yet conducive environment.
Yes, especially when we are starting off, like the music scene in Bhutan at the moment. We're just, experimenting, and it's just happening at the moment. And I don't think that at the moment it should be, regulated or bound.
And constricted and
Yeah.
confined to
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
No matter
Yes.
how free and open of a mind you come in as,
Yeah.
somehow as human beings, we are very habitual. So you tend to adapt to the environment.
Yes,
And
I
think
agree.
I really think that's very far-sighted on your part.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
to your contribution to music in
Thank you,
Bhutan,
thank
you
you,
know?
thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I think too much of your personal work. Now let's get into knowing you as Choeying.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay, so you said like your wife's a dancer, remember?
Yes.
She is a Zumba instructor, and
Yes.
you are a music producer. What's one thing that connects the both of you as a couple, and that makes you like the couple that you are? Because DJ talks a lot about that. So
Alright. So
family now.
I'd say that I can't talk on her behalf, but for me she is the better half. I'm the worse half.
Oh, so sweet.
So that 𝗖𝗵𝗶𝗴 𝗃𝗏, all my shortcomings, she's there to lift it up, or literally push me through everything. So I'd say that we complement each other. I hope that mogina mimidi 𝗖𝗵𝗶𝗴 like some qualities that she doesn't have, that I have it, and ngalu mimidi mogin. So usually people say that same we think but ngachi we have very different personalities. So I think we fill in the gaps for each other. So that we have a complete book. 𝗪𝗏𝗶𝗴, we have an entire book. Otherwise the pages would be missing more. So she is the missing page to my book.
Such a romantic. That's sweet. I think almost everybody knows that you didn't start your career into music, right? So
Yes.
walk us through actually your journey from being and studying something else and then coming into music and following that passion. Because everybody still struggles with that, doing something for paying the bills and also following your passion,
Yes.
It's like a tricky part still.
Yes, I agree. It's very confusing, it's very tricky, and sometimes it could lead to a lot of heartbreaks. And luckily I chose not to fall in that category. So, and the key word being choice. You choose your path, and you make it happen. Of course, everything starts and should start with passion, where we do entirely for the love of it, which I did as well. I was into music since I was a kid. I was always either dancing or singing or picking up an instrument, and and I was also born in a very musical family where
Great.
whenever the family gathered, we used to sing, and we used to have that circle, the Bhutanese way, and then sing. So I think that is deeply embedded in me, and that is what led to whatever is happening at the moment. And yes, I chose to study and finish my bachelor's, and I took the engineering course in electronics and communication, and I made sure I finished that and got the certificate for that, because back then, and I think it still does matter, the way the people look at you matters. I could be doing the same music which I am right now, but maybe did not even complete my high school, so the outlook would be very different, though it would be the same music. So I think that is how the world works, and that is where you have to make sacrifices. And I did that, and I worked for a year and a half as well, and had some earning to start off the studio as well. And coming back to balancing between passion and sustainability, I'll tell you how I try to balance things. there are very specific styles of music and kind of music which I want to do, but I know that it'll not do well in the market, you know. And how I know that is through experience. You know. And I could tell that this song would do well and this song wouldn't do well. And even though I like that kind of a song, I'm like, okay, I know that this is not going to do well, so I try to again make sacrifices in a small way. You know. So this is what needs to be done, and I understand where artists, there are a few artists who are like, oh, this is my music, you know, this is my thing, and you know, if I don't really care where others, even if others don't understand it, you know, that could work to a point, but if you keep on doing that, then that means, I always say that there is also an art of understanding, you know, what works and what does not. That is also artistic. You know,
interesting.
Where you need to know how things work, what would sell and what won't, because it's all mostly instincts through experience, right? So that's why I associate to art as well, you know. And some people don't have that art. You know, they'll keep on sticking to the kind of music they do, but nobody listens to their music. So they have to question themselves, you know, am I being artistic or am I being crazy? You know. So yeah, basically try to balance between the two.
Okay, so that's, I think, a very calculated move, you know, like you do what you love and also do few pieces that you love, but at the same time you make sure that you do something that you love but also your audience loves and everybody is happy, right?
Yes.
I think a very calculated and smart move. Yeah. What's one piece that you're most proud of?
That is
that you have worked on or that you're working on?
That is a very difficult piece, and honestly, I cannot choose between. It's like being a parent, you know.
Okay.
You can't choose between your children, you know. Though you want to. You know, well, on a serious note, I can't choose, because for me, that's why I don't have any favorite song or favorite artist or, you know, even a best friend, you know. I always say that I have friends, I don't have best friends. If I have best friends, all of them are best friends, you know. I don't have one best friend, you know. And even when it comes to songs, that's why I don't restrict myself to any particular genre. I listen to hip hop, rock, R&B, you know, reggaeton, you know. Whatever is there available, I'd listen to that, you know. I like them all, you know. There are a few which I am not proud of, but but when it comes to but yeah, I have to own it, and it's still, you know, the studio's work, it's still my work. So
right now I think together with music you also have a show that's called 𝗪𝗪𝗡. I just saw it online.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about it.
Well, the motivation for 𝗪𝗪𝗡 with M Studio is, you know, the idea was actually conceptualized a very long time ago. It was just that I was lazy, you know. To be very honest, you know, DJ might know it. We've been talking about since ages, you know, we need to do this, we need to do this in a bit. But one of the motivation was, first of all, our artists, you know, anybody who's doing independent work, creative work, like be it music or films or whatever, you know. So these are actually excluded from the mainstream, remember? And even when there are interviews, be it BBS or online shows or anywhere, you know, there are people always promoting them. But these artists are left out. So we were thinking, why not create our own platform, you know? We might not have the number of views, you know, as the commercial ones, but still then it is a platform, 𝗪𝗪𝗡. But more than that, it is a platform to learn. Where, suppose if you're a singer, the singer learns to face the camera, be natural in front of the camera, otherwise they freeze, right? So they have to be their own, remember, like, you know, say anything they want, you know, do any kind of move they want, look however they want to look, you know, and still be fine with it. So any restrictions is only, then we thought, okay, 𝗪𝗪𝗡 is a good platform, even for myself, you know. And then the idea was, I'd started off, I'll make sure that I give it a push start, you know. That's why I'm the one who's interviewing at the moment. But after a while, I want the artist to take over, you know. So anybody could host, one of them could host, and then they could call anybody they want, especially the ones who are not getting the limelight that they deserve, So that is the motivation behind 𝗪𝗪𝗡. And yeah, I personally, I don't have the patience, and my wife, because she's the one who edits it, she doesn't have the patience to watch long, be it films or anything. So she's like, we'll keep it short. 𝗪𝗪𝗡. Okay, fine. 𝗪𝗪𝗡. So that's it.
So where can people watch it, and when does it come out, maybe?
It's on YouTube, and at the moment we have decided that it'll be out every month on the 11th. So at the moment we have released 2 episodes, but we have finished recording a lot of artists, and yeah, we will make sure that we read the comments, and if we have to, maybe we'll increase the frequency, as in we might release a few in a month itself, but at the moment 1 episode in a month.
On the 11th of every month on 𝗵studio channel on YouTube, 𝗪𝗪𝗡, guys, for knowing your favorite artist. Okay, and what's like happening for 𝗵studio right now, and what's next for 𝗵studio, like your current projects and your future plans?
𝗵studio is actually known for its songs, and people think that, I don't actually blame people, because they think 𝗵studio is all about songs, and we are about songs. But we do other kinds of works as well, like we do a lot of narration, be it for advertisement or be it for even 𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗏 systems. We have done that. We have recorded voices. The ones you hear on 𝗪𝗪𝗡 was done by us. If you call 7700, that was done by Sush. And we do a lot of recordings. I think it's called ADR recordings for animations as well, where our artists do voice acting, and we are also known for doing jingles, signature tunes, and we do films, short advertisements, infographics as well, and these actually provide the studio and its artists venue to earn, because we all know that they don't really earn from their music, and music is up online for free, for everybody to enjoy.
I think this is to all the aspiring musicians and of course the budding artists. What would you consider the one thing in a song for it to be popular or for it to work as a music producer?
There are so many things. First of all, let me clarify that it's song, like we associate the word harmony with songs, where the harmony is sort of where everything comes together, then you have that song, starting from composition to the the lyrics, to the concept, to the singer, to the recording, mixing, master. I don't remember that. But now to choose one from there, I'd say it's all about emotions. If the emotion isn't there, then the music can be the best of the music, the lyrics could be the best lyrics, but at the end, emotion, then you can have the best voice, best of everything, but still then, people won't be able to point it out, but they're like, something missing, that is missing.
I was like, I don't know, but there's something that I connect with this.
Honey, it's like, it's a bad recording, but that is ganide anime, that emotion it connects with them, so they love it, they like it.
Okay.
So I'd say emotion.
What all instruments do you play?
I always say that I'm the jack of all trades, a master of none. I play the guitar, the djemnying, the 𝗙𝗏, the flute, the piano, the cajon, the drums, whatever I can get my hands on, the yanche, So, and I feel that helps me in my music, because idea the gara, and then I can always have or call people who actually know how to play it. Who are masters of that.
You sure are very calculated and smart.
Thank you. This is the first time I'm hearing it, but yeah.
Would you mind
take it.
showing us
Wow.
or playing a bit for us? All these instruments that you play. Choeying from Lim Studio, guys, with his much loved song 𝗪𝗪𝗪, and I would love to dedicate this song to Sophie. She loves the song as well. So
Hope you
yeah.
enjoyed it, Sophie.
Yeah, thank you once again for being so kind and for singing to us, and yeah,
Thank you, DJ.
a musical one, guys, this time. Thank you. 11 questions this time with Choeying. Bye.